Welcome to Tech Trick Tutorials, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to monetize your Google AdSense. Now, it's going to be really simple. Let's just walk you through all of the details and step-by-step process. Now, this is the most important thing that you need to keep in mind for monetization is that your account has to be well provisioned. Now, what do I mean by that? Meaning your account doesn't have any violations, it's set it up properly. So those are one of the key things that we are looking for. And let's just go ahead and make sure that the account is well provisioned. Okay, so you're going to need an email if you don't have an account yet, since this is the one of the key components that we need to make an account here on the Google AdSense. Now let's just take a scroll down, take a look at this. This is a freshly new created account, and I got this tip from a friend of mine on how to do this, how to set this up properly. So a monetized account is just a properly set it up account. That's just it. So here are the few tips. You could fine tune your placements. This is all the benefits of the ad, by the way. So get automatic updates. I'm going to be scrolling you guys through all of these processes. Okay, so take a nice stroll here. Now, the site. What is the site? Of course, you're going to need a website, an e-commerce website, of course, where you sell your products, because this one here is only to cater your ad. So I'm going to be adding a website here. Just add whatever website you have. Like, yeah, this is just a sample. So now we are now doing the processes of the monetization. So there's no way of monetizing an account if you don't have a well-provisioned account. So that's just it. As long as you follow the guidelines in setting up this account, then you'll be good to go. Okay. Now, privacy and message. Here are the features in privacy and message. You get to edit out consents. Now, depending on which country you're in, and this took me a bunch of research also, depending on which country you're in, it really boils down to rules and regulations in which country you're in. Like, for example, the European regulations, okay, and the CPRA. So let's just take a stroll here. This is the European regulations message in just a few steps. If you're from Europe, of course, then this is eligible to you. If not, well, you can just move on. Okay, and yeah, it's all based up on settings here. The CPRA, let's go ahead. CPRA is basically America, okay, California, the state. So depending on which location you're from, okay, so it's actually, when you create this account, it actually automatically identifies your location, because it needs you to update your location, turn on your location. So when you create this account, it'll recognize right away where you're from. Like, for example, this account that I'm creating right now, it was set it up on my dialect, on my native Filipino dialect. So, but I had to change it on English, the universal language, of course. So this is the LGPD. Again, if you're from Brazil, then this totally applies to you, but if not, you can just move on. Okay, that's how simple and quick it is. So again, let's just take you through the steps here, step by step, throughout the process, making sure that there are no violations intact. Okay, now here's the monetization. Okay, this is still the process of monetization. You can create ad blocking recovery. Now, ad blocking recovery is a fantastic way to get this started, because if you have ad blocking recovery, meaning if someone blocks your ad or automatically or manually from another country, you could protect your revenues and earnings. Okay, so that's a heads up, a new feature that Adsense has recently created. Now let's try to create a message here. So this is exactly what it would look like if your ad is blocked in certain places. Okay, you can monitor it here, although there are some limitations in the information on where they're going to be blocked in certain countries or manually blocked. Okay, because as much as we hate it, rather, a lot of people don't like advertisements on their platforms, okay, on their videos, so they just skipped or they just blocked you directly. And this, a lot of e-commerce, they're trying to come up with silly ways on how to do this, how to avoid this, but really the reality is it's unavoidable. The only way is to activate the block recovery. So now let's just go ahead, the brand safety content, let's just take you to this step by step. Okay, ad revenue, and in here please enable so that we would continue our process on the monetization. Okay, so here it is. Now that we're done with that, let's just go ahead and continue our process here. Okay, let's go ahead with blocking controls. Again, follow me step by step. So in blocking controls, you could control whatever comes in and comes out of your platform here. Okay, so it's totally up to you whether you like an advertiser's URL, sensitive categories, what type of sensitive categories, or what type of categories do you consider to be sensitive, that is on par with your ad. Okay, so ad serving, so block certain types of ads from appearing on your site. See, so you could manually change it here, everything depending on your, we are customizing this to your preferences, so I'm not going to tell you guys which is the best option, but just customize it for your preferences. Like for example, on my e-commerce website I sell boxing products, so a little bit of sports is good, a little bit of combat sports, which is unappealing to some, but I like it. It helped me, sell products. Earnings, this is your earnings right here. Page view, since this is a new one here, active view. So this is basically it, where you can track the progress here. Again, you cannot get lost here because we're just doing this step by step all the way down. Okay, going all the way down. So this is your earnings here, estimated earnings. You can track it here, so if you connect your website here. Now let's go with policy center. Of course, every application and every platform has a policy center, so they should abide by law, and it's of course taken to court. So judicial court, so it depends on your country's judicial. Okay, so payments, again, don't lose me here, we're just going through this step-by-step process all the way down. We're going to be processing your payment method. Okay, we're going to be adding a payment method. So how else would you earn if you don't add a bank account or whatever means you have as a payment method? Okay, here's where you could send money and also receive money. Okay, go ahead, this is your payment information. This is my payment information right here. I've already automatically added it. They're going to be asking for certain types like your address line, suburb, town, city, where you're from, province. You're going to be filling up all that. Okay, let's just put it here, sample location, address line. Okay, so your address line there, put it there, town, city, postal code, so whatever. I'm going to be asking that of you. Now I happen to be in the Philippines, so it's on par in my country. It's all here, the regions and all of it. So this is Google, guys, come on, they know everything. So click submit. So once you click submit, it'll automatically add the payment info. Okay, payment info, and therefore payment method. Now let's just let me scroll up here a little bit. Let me emphasize a little bit more here on the side here on the verification check. You have to verify your identity. So in order for that, you need to process the payment info first. Okay, so if you don't process your payment info first under payments here, you cannot verify your identity. So they're going to be, it'll take a couple of days, business days, in order for this to work, by the way. Okay, in order for them to properly assess and identify you. So it takes patience, this one, setting up. So account information here. You can see the information of your account. Here we go. Here's the customer ID, time zone. Now automatically added the time zone here, didn't do it manually. So once you add your email that is on par with your address, this is the personal settings where you could create where you could edit and recreate on the details here in your account. Okay, like for example, the name here, surname, email you're using. So you could do this a bunch of times without any violations. So again, we must do our best to avoid certain violations. Okay, you could select the language here. So basically any language you could think of, any country that's on the map. Okay, it's all here. So Google trying their best to keep up with the demands of people trying to create an account on Google AdSense. So that's just it for this one right here. You have to click save if you want to edit this, of course. And let's just scroll down here to users management. Now you could create a new user here, like for example a new account, or you could edit out your accesses, but we don't need that. We already have an account right here. So third parties, again, if you have a team on certain businesses, this is a good one. Okay, so this is certainly not for the beginners of e-commerce, doing e-commerce. Okay, this is the messages here, where if someone messages on your website or whatever it is that is linked here, you just monitor it here. You could delete it if you want to. There's no reply option here. You could just monitor it and just go ahead. Think of this as a centralized command post of your entire e-commerce platform. Okay, so let's just get through this one, the very first one that we've skipped. So you're going to be adding a site like www. whatever workspace, whatever type of site do you have. Just put an example here. You can click save. Okay, these three boxes right here, you absolutely need to explore them and also to provision them on the way to monetization. Now this, if something like this happens, like we apologize for inconvenience like that, it's just click refresh and it'll start right away. Probably just a glitch on your Wi-Fi. Okay, let's just go ahead to customer information. Here you go. You could add it here, name and address. You have to fill all this up. Okay, and again, once you click submit, they are going to be reviewing this for quite some time. So let's say 3 business days. That's the longest, as my friend told me, that he's waited for the provisioning process. Let's go ahead and explore here. You could add a website. Again, still asks for a website that you want to connect. And again, here he's going to be asking for another website as well. So multiple websites. There's no way of doing this with one website. Like this is again a centralized command post for your e-commerce platforms. So it's going to be asking for YouTube, if you have a YouTube account, TikTok seller. It's going to be asking you and all of that. Okay, let's go back to a little bit home here. Oh, again, this is the to see if there aren't any issues on your account, so you don't have any current issues. So that's good. Okay, you could also send a feedback. Like for example, if you have something that is of a dislike on your behalf, like there's something you don't like on the particular platform here, like on my honest opinion, this needs improvement on simplicity. Okay, and let's go with shortcuts. Yeah, because this platform right here is really not for the beginners, individuals who are just starting out on their online businesses, because there's a lot of terminologies here that needs research. Okay, and over time through experiences, and I happen to have friends who have accounts and seller accounts, so they could help me out on this one. And especially for non-tax savvy customers and appliers. So that's it. You could click submit on their behalf here, on your behalf, and that's the review change. So again, so far so good, no issues on your account here, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want an account to have an issue, because if you have an issue, it's going to be a domino effect where they're going to be asking you for a bunch of things. Okay, I'm going to be asking you for a bunch of files, and it's going to be taking time. So better provision it while you're still setting it up. Okay, and I could assure you that there aren't a lot of tutorial videos out there that could really dive deep as I do right now. So yeah, because it takes time. This video really takes time in order for us to do this. There's no way of shortcutting this into a couple of seconds video like a reel. It's almost impossible to do so. Okay, so again, I'm just double checking here, see that the account is well provisioned. Again, these 3 boxes, reminder, you need to do this, guys. You need to do this. The tip that I can just give you is just go through this step-by-step process, going all the way down so you won't get lost. Okay, so that's for the reminder here. Now that's just basically it for this provisioning of the account. Now it'll take a couple of business days in order for you to get going, and in monetization you're going to have a good performance. You need to have a good performance on your account, on your seller's account, so you could be monetized here for good performance. Okay, I'll provision this one first. So a quick summary of our process here. Okay, you need an email. So once you have your email, you're going to need to put that on your Adsense account, put that there, and then you're going to need a well-provisioned account. So once your account is well provisioned, you want to make sure that your applications and your sites are well provisioned as well. So these are tips that you guys need to get a heads on in order for you to have a monetized account, which is going to take about as quick a month is probably the most quickest way for you to get monetized. Okay, so a month is probably the quickest way if you do this properly. But if not, you're going to be running in some issues. They're fixable, but I guarantee you it's better to provision your account while it's still fresh out of the oven, like this one. Because if you're going to be running in some issues like identification, verification process that are failing, then you're going to be having a hard time dealing and processing your monetization in the long run. So you're just really going to need to process this step by step and monetize your account in the long run. Okay, now everybody wants to have a monetized account because what? It puts you on the top of the food chain. Okay, it makes you the boss out of the beginners out there on these businesses online. So it sort of like puts you on the top of the food chain, where customers are just flocking in, giving your products reviews, and you'll just skyrocket from there. So you get to have a lot of opportunities in terms of growth in your business. So a centralized command account is the way to go. Like Google AdSense, it's a centralized outpost. So yeah, not going to extend this any further. I certainly hope that this video is of any help for you guys, and I hope this video is educational. Thank you so much for watching Tech Trick Tutorials. You guys have a nice day.